A prayer from Chief Fambo from Bala District.
Our great God, we thank you this afternoon for gathering us together in this manner. I commit each one of us, God, into your hands. I pray that God, as we gather to deliberate on the matters of our nation, you will guide us, you will lead us, and you protect each one of us. In the name of Jesus, I come against every power of darkness. I pray that God will be with us throughout this program. In the name of Jesus, I pray for all of thanks. Amen.
Amen. Then we may be seated. Mr. President, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Royal Highnesses, through the chairperson of the House of Chiefs. Mr. President, today is a very important day here at the State House, in that our fathers and our mothers in the nation are before you for an interaction. I will be quick to mention, Mr. President, that this is a scheduled interaction that you are going to have with the House of Chiefs, like you have always done, following your guidance that we are supposed to be having scheduled interactions with various bodies, like we have with the church, civil society, unions, and many, many other interest groups in the nation. So we do with the House of Chiefs. So they were meeting, they were in session, go to adjourn on Friday last week. So this is a scheduled interaction that we're going to have, so that we can tap into the wisdom and advice and counsel of each other. Mr. President, will straight away go into introductions. The Royal Highnesses, for you to know them, we'll give them a special arrangement that they introduce themselves verbally, so that the President may get to know who is available in this meeting. For us from the government side, just a few might introduce themselves. So that's how it's going to be. And I should be quick to mention, Mr. President, that our meeting will be in two parts. First is this open session, where the chairperson of the House of Chiefs will present certain issues or say a few high-level remarks. And then we'll be able to call upon you, Mr. President, to respond. Thereafter, for any other issue, we'll go into a camera session outside of the media for the second part of the interaction. House of the chairperson introductions.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I am His Royal Highness Chief Jongo, chairperson of the House of Chiefs of Zambia. Thank you.
afternoon, Mr. President. I'm His Royal Chief Mwenwesi of Columbia People in Mafinga District, Chinga Province. I'm the Vice Chairman for the House of Chiefs.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Chief Tennis Mwezwa from Iteshitezi District, Southern Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. Yani mwantachi kuitia kufuma kumunyola district in Northwestern Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Senior Chief Sergeant from Winunga District, Northwestern Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Vundavunda from Rukunsa District.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Mukowela from Namara, Southern Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Sunka from Wapra Province, Mansa District.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Tennis Kawaza from Eastern Province, Katete, Slogosinga District.
Your Excellency, good afternoon. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Chamuka from Chisamba and Kawe District, Central Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Mumbi from Petauke District in the Eastern Province. Thank you.
Mr. President, good afternoon. I'm Chief Mazimawe, coming from Eastern Province, Kaseningwa and Chipata District.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Dr. Kayinde Chirema. This is Chief Mapanza from Choma District, Southern Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm Chief Mukambo from the Copper Belt, Masaiti District.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Musaka from Shindamu District in Northwestern Province.
Good afternoon. I'm Senior Chief Mwamba, Kasama District, Northern Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Senior Chief Rukama from Sioma and Shango District, Western Province.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm Chief Molendema, Mumbai District, Central Province. Thank you.
Mr. President, good afternoon. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Kavinga, Kanchia District, Chinga Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Simamba from Siavonga District, the Southern Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency the President. I'm His Royal Highness Senior Shindi from Mozambique District in the Northwestern Province.
Chief Kaputa, Kaputa District.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Shaivila of Mukushi and Durano District, Central Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I am Her Royal Highness Chieftainess Msongo from Mambwe District, Eastern Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Mbosha, Bano District, Central Province.
Your Excellency, good afternoon. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Kazende from Eastern Province, Lomezi District. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Munkanta from Kawambwa, Wapra Province.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, the President. I'm Senior Chief Porter of the Wiri people, Wapra Province.
Mr. President, good afternoon. My name is His Royal Highness Chief Ufambo from Mbala, Northern Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Kabamba from Serenje, Central Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm Chief Mkwendo from Chinsali District, Mchinga Province.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I am Chief Myombe from Mafinga District in Mchinga Province.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. I'm His Royal Highness Chief Kalunkumia from Mpongwe District, Copperbelt Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Ananganga Imwiko from Umwandi in Sesheke District, or Umwandi is also a district. Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I am Chief Mansa Kombe from Chifunavuli District, Mansa, Ropula Province.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm Chief Shikaveta, Rufusa District, Lusaka Province.
I'm Senior Chief Nikula of Chinsari and Shwanani District, Muchina Province.
I'm Chief Winuna, Mongwe District, Copperbelt Province.
Mr. President, my name is Levi Ngoma, Special Assistant to the President of Political Affairs.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, and the Chairperson of the House of Chiefs. My name is Nicholas Phiri. I'm the Permanent Secretary in charge of operations in the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Joseph Lungu, Special Assistant to the President for Police Compliance.
Good afternoon, Mr. President, Your Royal Highnesses. My name is Gabriel Collin. I'm the Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Naomi Tatamashimba, Permanent Secretary, Special Duty.
Mr. President, just to indicate that for the sake of their Royal Highnesses, yourself, in this meeting, we have yes, you may introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. My name is Frederick Chulukutu, Commissioner General, Zambia Correctional Services. And in this meeting, I think because I'm the contractor for the Chief's Palaces. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I wanted to indicate, Mr. President, that in this meeting, Your Royal Highnesses, we have got officials from the Ministry of Justice. They are in this meeting. We also have got other officials from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. And we also have officials from Cabinet Office. They are part of this meeting. But for the brevity of time, we may need to proceed. At this juncture, Mr. President, allow me to invite His Royal Highness Chief Chongo to give his remarks for the open session.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon once more, Your Excellency, the President. I bring warm and tender greetings from the House of Chiefs of Zambia and all the chiefs across this country. The President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, Your Royal Highnesses, members of the House of Chiefs, Cabinet Ministers present, Permanent Secretaries present, other senior government officials, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I acknowledge the presence of the media, very important component in our meeting. The House of Chiefs would like to thank you, Mr. President, for fulfilling the resolution of having regular structured meetings to confer with the members from time to time on issues of national government. Mr. President, the House of Chiefs wishes to place on record its gratitude for ensuring that the country had enough food stocks during one of the worst droughts experienced during the 2023-2024 farming season. You told the nation that no citizen would die of hunger because of the drought. And indeed, due to the many interventions that the government put in place, this turned out to be so. Your government needs to be commended for all the efforts put in place to ensure that the country is food secure. We wish to applaud government for other supplementary programs such as Cash for Work that have helped to mitigate the effects of the drought on many citizens. Cash for Work has been a lifesaver for many people whose lives depend on subsistence farming because their crop fields were negatively affected by the drought. We further wish to thank you, Mr. President, for providing farming inputs to all the chiefs so that traditional leaders lead by example in growing food for the country. We wish to confirm that all chiefs received the inputs and are grateful for the positive response towards the request they made to your office. In addition, the House of Chiefs would like to commend government for the introduction of the fuel fund to make use of the equipment that was procured using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Previously, implementation of CDF projects such as grading of feeder roads was proving difficult as lack of fuel was a major reason most local authorities cited for failure to grade roads. The House would like to request that the President ensures that his directive to all local authorities to grade the roads as soon as possible is implemented the first. Mr. President, I will be failing in my duties if I do not recognize government's critical role and support rendered to chiefs who travel to attend various traditional ceremonies across the country in 2024. The support that chiefs received made it possible for chiefs to show unity of purpose and love for one another. The House of Chiefs' resolve is that we will endeavor to encourage chiefs to continue with this noble initiative, even with minimal support from government, in order to show our people that we indeed exist as one people in diversity. The House of Chiefs has some issues that they want to raise before you, Mr. President. The last time the House of Chiefs met with the President on the 16th of May 2024, we had a fruitful discussion and tabled issues that enhance dialogue and collaboration between government and the institution of chieftaincy, with a view to finding common solutions to pressing issues affecting citizens. As a follow-up to our discussion in the last meeting, the House wishes to bring to the attention of you, Mr. President, the following issues, that the following issues still await response from government. The first issue, the chiefs have noted with concern the slow pace by contractors engaged to build chiefs' palaces. The House of Chiefs is of the view that government should iron out all issues hindering the speedy construction of chiefs' palaces so that phase 2 of the program is not affected. Coming to today's meeting, Mr. President, the House of Chiefs wishes to draw the President to the following 3 subject matters. The first one, chiefdom succession disputes. Mr. President, you may recall that during the last meeting, you guided that traditional leaders were better placed to handle succession disputes as opposed to the courts of law. We wish to report that the House of Chiefs held a meeting with the judiciary chaired by the Chief Justice, Honorable Justice Dr. Mumba Malila, State Counsel, where it was agreed, among other things, that steps be taken to create a chamber in the House of Chiefs with exclusive and final jurisdiction on succession disputes. To this end, the House is appealing to government through the judiciary to expedite the implementation of this resolution. The second matter, Mr. President, appointment of estate administrators. The House of Chiefs wishes to report that the recent changes to the laws and procedures of appointing administrators to estates for persons that die intestate through the High Court is challenging to most people, especially in chiefdoms. The situation has made it difficult for people in chiefdoms to travel to towns and cities to access High Court services. Worse still, that people are not allowed to represent themselves in the High Court. They have to hire legal representation, which most rural communities cannot afford. The House of Chiefs requests that the law be amended in order to make it easy and affordable for people in rural communities to apply to be administrators of estates for their deceased relatives. The third issue, Mr. President, 1958 boundary maps. Mr. President, you may recall that in the last meeting with the House of Chiefs, it was observed that despite the 1958 chiefdom boundary maps being the official map and the tool for determining chiefdom boundaries, the map is problematic in some areas. The House of Chiefs requests government to expeditiously facilitate dialogue among stakeholders to resolve some of the challenges emanating from the 1958 chiefdom boundary maps. The last concern for today, Mr. President, proposed amendments to the Constitution. The House of Chiefs is aware of the government's intention to amend the Republican Constitution. We have seen the proposed articles to be amended and proposed roadmap as announced by the Minister of Justice. The House wishes to place on record that we, the chiefs, are interested in the Constitution amendment, and we have critical and burning issues that we would want to be resolved through the amendment of the Constitution. Our prayer is that we will be allowed to make a written submission at an appropriate time. Mr. President, with these few remarks, I would like to thank you most sincerely and await your response. His Royal Highness Chief Chongo, Chairperson of the House of Chiefs of Zambia. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness, for that submission for the President. Mr. President, we may wish to respond.
Clarification, will we have a second session or this is the only session?
Mr. President, there will be a second session.
Okay, thank you very much. Just to be sure, first let me welcome members of the House of Chiefs to this, your State House. This is the community, it's the People's State House. This is your State House. I've said this before, and we want to make sure that we underscore that aspect. That State House belongs to 20 million Zambians in all the 10 provinces, 116 districts, and indeed 156 constituencies. This is the People's House. So you're truly welcome to your own house. Very delighted to have you here, and also truly happy that we are meeting today because of your flexibility. We should have met during the session. Your session finished 2 days or so ago, ended 2 days ago, but we had our own challenges from our end, but you have been able to adjust your calendar, Your Royal Highnesses, in order to be at this meeting this afternoon. So we appreciate that flexibility from your side. I think the best is what I had proposed, that through the chair and your team, we do sort of a calendar that sort of guides us. That's what I would suggest we do. But obviously the two sides will remain in touch with each other. Before we go into the business of today, to respond to what Your Royal Highness has said, I want to do two things. One, to congratulate you, the new chair, and your vice, the team, following your elections in the House of Chiefs. We followed your elections, the deliberations, and that now you have been chosen as the chair and vice. We want to wish you success in leading this important organ of our governance system in our country. It's a very critical institution in our country, and it must continue performing its functions fully so that other aspects of government, as they do their bits, pulling those efforts together, we can continue taking our country to where it should be, a better country for all of us, our citizens. I want to use the opportunity to also congratulate the outgoing team, chair, outgoing vice, for the tremendous work that you did in the past year. We worked together, interacted quite a lot across the country. In this president's vision, this fellow speaking here, he wants to see this country as a united country, not a fractious country, not a country that daily is engaged in conflict. So in the spirit of the two angles of development, the way we see them as our government, peace, security, stability, anchored on unity as one side, and then economic and social development on the other. Very simple, very straightforward. So we thank you, the team that has exited, for your efforts to bring the chiefs together, this house, and the bigger body of chiefs, Royal Highnesses in our country. If I didn't do that, I would have failed in my duty. It was quite taxing to the two of you to trot around almost everywhere. And I'm sure the new team understands the job ahead of them. So thank you very much. Before we proceed, I would like us to stand up to observe a minute of silence in memory of our sister, your daughter, Honorable Edith Zewelan Nawapi, who passed on. We had a funeral service on Friday. She was buried on Friday. I think it's important that we show respect to the deceased. May we stand up to observe a minute of silence. Salivia, we may take our seats. That is our language in the Namanga land. Simply saying thank you very much. So may her soul rest in peace. Eternal peace. Chair, thank you for the words that you have brought out, the issues that you brought out. In your remarks, we want to express our gratitude to the issues you have raised and indicate that this is the way we should be engaging with each other, to bring issues to each other in a civilized way. I was saying at the funeral of Madam Nawapi that the country must learn to engage with each other in a civilized way, in a mature way. And I think that's what you have exhibited in the issues that you have brought, and that's the value of the interaction. We also believe that these issues are shared by the rest of your Royal Highnesses, since you are elected to represent the rest of the Royal Highnesses. I think the country must appreciate the system of representation. Democracy, an organized society, a mature society, you can't have 20 million citizens sitting in State House like this. 20 million citizens are represented through various structures. On the publicly elected structures, councillors are elected, council chairpersons are elected, mayors are elected, MPs are elected, the president is elected every 5 years. You are selected through your family trees, succession programs. For many of you, you are selected for life, except in one or two cases, few cases where disputes lead to one chief is removed and another one comes in, and both are alive, generally you are selected for life. That too is a process that is important. And then when you are selected that way, you then go to your provinces, 10 provinces, to elect. I don't know how many you elect per province now. 5. To elect 5 from each of our 10 provinces. So, though you are selected to sit in the House of Chiefs, you are elected. So you are actually elected officials as well. So we should have 50, isn't it, members in the House of Chiefs. We have 156 elected members of Parliament for now, and 8 are nominated. So essentially, we have 164, I do believe, if my arithmetic is correct. So all of us who are elected, you are selected and you are elected, all of us in this room, I must remind civil servants, your Royal Highnesses, they forget that they are also elected through us who are elected. And they have a duty, together with them, to serve the 20 million Zambians, those who put us in this public office. So at all times, our interest, our role, our responsibility is, yes. Your Highness may take some water. I actually have a cold. I'm just recovering from a cold. So sorry about that. So all of us in this room are representatives of the 20 million Zambians. Sometimes we forget. Even the Royal Highnesses, you represent the subjects in Chibuita. You represent the subjects in Fambo, in Chongo, everywhere. That is very important to keep in our minds, that we are public officers, public workers. So therefore, this discourse we're having today is about the people. That's paramount. It's about the people. There would be no chief without subjects. I've never seen a chief without subjects. I'm not sure how that chiefdom would work. But equally, how can there be a president without the people? So, I'm making a point, Chair, that we owe what we do to the people of Zambia and all that is in it. The people are there because there's land, there's water, there are trees, there's nature. I'm deliberately emphasizing this point because of my observations as we work together, not just with yourselves, but with my team on the left. People's interest matter. Your Royal Highness Chair, you raised a couple of issues. Let me not belabor the point, but respond to some of them. You talked about irregular engagement. I think I touched on it. You are our partners. The House of Chiefs, the Royal Highnesses are partners with the government. Integral partners. Government serves the people, you serve the people. We serve the people. So we can't do it in competition. We can only do it in complementarity. Because there are things that you do best, such as what? You're the custodians of customary land. The president is a custodian of all land in this country. That under state and under your chiefdoms, including the resources that exist in those jurisdictions. And I want to make a point here, Chair and Vice Chair, that we must all understand that these resources we manage are in trust for the people. They are in trust for the people. That is extremely important. The land, the water, the minerals belong to the 20 million Zambians, irrespective of whether the core is in Mamba. That core belongs to the people of Zambia, all of them. The custodians of that core will sit in those areas, but for the 20 million Zambians. You didn't raise this point, I am raising it because of the issues I'm hearing on the ground. And the immediate caretakers are us, yourselves, but it's on behalf of all of us. How true is this? It's very true. If you look at Ilamba, if you look at the roads that are in your areas, most of that money which funded those roads came from Lambaland. Any road you see across the country, by and large, in those days came from Lambaland through the copper, because that was the main economy. The electricity that you see in your palaces comes from, by and large, from the people displaced in the valley to create the Kariba Dam. I'm reminding us because what I'm hearing on the ground, when there's gold somewhere, all of a sudden it's gold belonging to only a few people. No, it belongs to 20 million Zambians. But the custodians need to be taken account of, the immediate custodians. Gold, diamond, copper, all our minerals, manganese. That's the way we'll keep this country together. If we didn't do that, we will miss and we'll start quarreling with each other. The water belongs to 20 million Zambians. That's why we should not pollute it. No one should pollute our water bodies. As usual, now the pollution happened on the Copper Belt, but the pollution is now running through Copper Belt, Central Province, Lusaka Province, Southern Province, and eventually to Eastern Province through the Tafue River. So the pollution happens on the Copper Belt. It's affecting 5-6 provinces. That's just an example. So we must all act responsibly. And please, as partners, ensure that your subjects, our fellow citizens, conduct themselves properly so that we can protect the environment. The government must conduct itself properly. Ministries, mines, all of us must conduct ourselves properly so we don't damage resources that belong to our people. We exploit the resources to benefit all the citizens of Zambia. I thought, Chair, I should raise that issue, and I would like this extended to the wider body of the House of Chiefs. Sorry, the chiefs. I'm with you here, but we need to work a program how we can take this conversation to the rest of the chiefs. And through the chiefs to the headmen. Your headmen. We your headmen. I'm one of your headmen. I hope you are aware, all of you. I'm one of your headmen. So you are lucky to have your headman as president, who is a traditionalist, who understands the importance of traditions. I encourage you to utilize this opportunity in solving many problems, including what you've raised. I'll touch it just now. So, Chair and Vice Chair, we would like to arrange meetings so we can engage the rest of the chiefs on these subjects of national interest, so that when we discuss with you, the message or decisions we make or conversation can go down to the other chiefs who are not amongst your 50, to your headmen, we your headmen, to the people. and we meet there again. I wanted to indicate that the issue around the palaces taking long, point is well taken, Chair. We are not happy, President is not happy that these things are taking long. But it's also important to remember that this is the first government that is embarked on improving the welfare of the chiefs in this way. There's no government before us which has done what this government is doing. And we have a contractor there. Contractor for some of the palaces has heard the message. I think we also recognize there were mistakes made in making contracts, local government. Some of the contractors who were given to build palaces maybe didn't have the capacity. And it's a reflection we must have now and correct that mistake. So Chair and Vice Chair, we will work together in a more specific manner. What do I mean? We look at all the palaces under construction now, by name. That's how I like working myself, not generally, but specifically. By name, the stage at which they are, local government. 2 PSs are here. That information should already be in your files. And what is the remaining work? When is it going to be completed? So we share local government and the House of Chiefs. The President would like to have this information, not only from local government, but signed off by the House of Chiefs, so that we are talking the same language. We're not telling different stories over the same issue. That would be my response on your palaces. And when we say the palaces, we want to discuss the palaces in a complete way. The chief's house, the 2 retainers' houses, I think, and the other auxiliary facility, office, meeting room. A complete package. Media needs to hear this. So you can see when I was talking of working for the people, the Chief's Palace this government is doing together with the House of Chiefs is the Chief's house. It's 2 retainers' houses. It is office plus meeting place. And with goes the water, reticulated water. With it goes some electricity. If you're on the grid, if you are not, solar. But reticulated palace, in simple language, meaning water and sanitation, flush toilet. It is true to say some palaces will see this facility for the first time since independence. That is true. I think it's an achievement, but we would like to conclude this work on time. Chair and Vice Chair. So we'll have an active engagement on this one. I also suggest that, or guide that, there were palaces that were built by the previous governments. We're not pointing at one government, but previous governments. We want to look at what's happening there. Because some of them, I think, were substandard, some had various challenges. I remember talking to one of the Royal Highnesses from Muchinga in Isoka, who visited me last week, that his palace was not completed. For many years, although he moved into it, it was not completed for many years. So, in the interest of fairness, local government PSs, we want to look at that category as well. So, maybe that category, since it were done before us, but the chief's properties, houses, the ones that were built in category 2, the description I've given, then category 3, those that are not yet to be done, which is what the Royal Highness was saying, so that we can move quickly to those. I do believe that those that were built before our time may have not had retainers' houses, for example. Am I right? Some of the Royal Highness. Please, let's have a free-flowing meeting. So they may not have the specification that we have, agreed ourselves. So I think it means that we have to address those issues as part of the program, so that we are fair to all the Royal Highnesses. After all, these are our chiefs, and the functions they play are part of governance in our country. I've taken a bit of time to explain this, but contractor, you are hearing the message. I do reach out to the contractor quite often. He will tell you that I have no hours of work myself. I work any time of the day. So I send requests to him and to the minister who was there, sometimes to his PSs, and the new minister has been directed to pay attention to this subject, chair and vice chair. So I think we'll be in good space with those three categories. Let's get that information within the next few days. It's not difficult. It's already on your database. But the important thing is to sign it off with the chair and his team so that we are talking the same language. I repeat what I said. That's the issue on that. And so we can also work on starting on phase those that have not been touched at all. I want the Royal Highnesses to remember that your country, as I said, is one country, is one economy, is one budget. And we inherited a difficult economy. We are rebuilding the economy now. As you can see from the numbers don't lie. Even in a difficult year, we were able to grow the economy by 4%. Because when we came in, the economy had gone down to minus 2.8%. We are in office 3.5 years. We brought up the economy to last year 5, this year 4 because of the drought. Last year, sorry. The other year 5, last year 2024 4. This year we hope to grow the economy by 6.6%. We are on the road to full recovery. This is what your government has done. I think it's important when we have economic data, Lungu is my special assistant compliance, to share it, Levy, with the House of Chiefs. I think it's normal, just exchange of information. I mean, whether they look at it or not, at least they have the information to see what is going on. That's what I would suggest. Okay, I'm just being reminded that this is why it's good to have a team, that the package of the House of Chiefs includes a motorbike for retainers. I think that is true. I'm not sure whether the motorbikes are moving or they're not moving, Nicholas. That's a note there. No, it's saying so, but I'm saying whether they are moving, they're being distributed.
We haven't yet done the distribution, Your Excellency. There's more challenge with the registration, but as of last week, we completed the registration of all the 286. So anytime from now, we should be flagging off the distribution of the motorcycles. Thank you.
I think that's some good news, Chair, that the motorbikes are on the way as part of the package. And then the motorbikes are not attached to the pallets and construction, because those are functional issues. So you commit in this meeting, the President will follow.
Yes, yes.
So when are you distributing?
We're just waiting for the minister to come and then we make the schedule, but otherwise we are ready. And maybe in the next 14 days or so we should be good to go.
Don't wait for the minister. The minister is on WhatsApp where he is. So you can continue with the work. Yeah. Technology allows us to work wherever we are. 24/7. That's what your Royal Highnesses, I'm trying to teach this public service to work in a more efficient way. It's one of the issues I'm having challenges, to get the public sector to work like businesses. 24/7, we must all be. So that's my encouragement. And registration, Nicola, should not be a problem. We're the government. It should not be a problem. We should be able to deal with those issues. So there you are, Your Royal Highnesses. So I think, again, working together, we should have a schedule, Nicholas, which bags have been distributed to which palace, and it's better that Royal Highness sign off. When those items come, they sign off. And then a return is brought back. So we are organized, and we know what is happening. I know the issue, you haven't raised it, issue of vehicles. Maybe it will come in a private meeting. But all I want to say to you, my Royal Highnesses, our Royal Highness, is that this government works in an organized way. We were in debt default, we had no money. That's the truth. Now we worked hard to get the debt restructuring. It was a very difficult job. We're the only country that has achieved to do that so far under the G20 framework. And then rebuilding the economy from minus 2.8% to now 4% this year to 6.6%. Working on the energy crisis, working on the drought crisis. So this is a nation, this is how it works. Chiefs are very important, but remember, you are very important in the context of 20 million people who need help as well, such as free education. We can't just deal with the chief's issues and forget that your children need to go to school. Your children need to sit on desks instead of on the floor. Achievements that your government has made in 3.5 years. Schools are being built in your chiefdoms, I'm sure you see them. Clinics are being built in your chiefdoms, I'm sure you see them. Ago. Muona ma school ari kumangiwa kwa mene kuchi. Yeah, please. I like having conversations.
Your Excellency, under CDF.
Exactly. So part of the money goes to CDF, that's the message, to build schools, clinics, water, desks. Part of the money goes to employ teachers. You've seen the thousands of teachers we've employed. 3.5 years, we've employed close to 100,000 civil servants. In 3.5 years. No government has done that before. That's a fact. Numbers don't lie. So money goes there. Why? Because we need to have teachers in classrooms. Some schools only had 2 teachers. Just 2 teachers. Money has to go to physical. Money has to go to agriculture. So it is important that in a meeting like this, we share views and facts. But it doesn't mean chiefs, motor vehicles are not important. They're very important. But we look at a package of needs for the country. Since we introduced free education, Your Royal Highnesses, 2 million children have gone back to school. 2 million. Just imagine, what were these children going to be without free education? What do you call our kids in the streets? Junkies. It's so shameful that we can have junkies. But this is where we bred junkies when kids didn't go to school. Now we've saved them from being junkies. They're in school. Good news, even elderly people are going back to school now. Mothers, after giving birth to 5 children, they're going back to school. I think we must be proud of this as our partners, as a country. You really should be proud. The girl child now has a chance to go to university. The money is going to meal allowances. You saw me touring universities a few days ago. And you must see how excited your children are, your grandchildren are in universities with meal allowances, with more bursaries, with scholarships. It is very important that the chiefs are aware of where their money is going, the people's money is going. Because this is why we are chosen to be public officers. I can go on, but I'm only giving examples. But we are very much alive to those issues. Let's proceed. You raised the issue to do with drought. I want to thank all of you seated in this room, Your Royal Highnesses, for your support, tremendous support during the worst drought in living memory. Records don't lie, figures don't lie. I'm a villager myself. I grew up in a village. I'm a cattle boy. I grew to my age from the village. I have never seen a year when the village folks never harvested. It's the first time I've seen it. But together, we worked. Your government devised a system to take the maize back to the depots where we used to buy it when there's a good harvest. Also the milling mill. But we said we take the maize back then. How do people buy it? Hence, 3 or 4 categories. 1, ordinary social cash transfer. 2, enhanced social cash transfer. 3, cash for work. So that your subjects, our citizens, did work, they got paid, they went and bought a maize. 4, some got direct support, food support, in your chiefdoms, in the drought areas. Remember, there were specific areas where there was a drought. I can only say to you, thank you so much. Chair, Vice Chair, and this team. This was a time when partnership between the government and yourselves, actually I'm wrong to say between the government and yourself, partnership amongst ourselves, because we're one, really worked. The church came on board, other organizations came on board. So I think my duty today is to say thank you for that tremendous work that we did together. And I have not been given any report that somebody died of hunger. We declared that nobody should die of hunger. So partnerships work. Now, may I say that this year, I have a message. Our people answered the call to plant again. After they lost the crop, we encouraged them to plant 2023-2024 season. 2022-2023. This is 2023-2024 season, because we're in 2020. No, I'm lying. It's 2023-2024. Then this one is 2024-2025. So in 2023-2024, we encouraged them to plant. They planted. And I'm so grateful to the people responding to the President's call, but they got wiped out. I thank you to our colleagues, citizens in Luapula, Northern, Muchinga, parts of Northwestern, parts of Copperbelt. I think that's about it, who were able to harvest and also increase the yield. I want to say thank you to my fellow citizens in those regions. Ordinarily, they don't produce much, but they began to produce now. Well, I'm very, very proud myself of our citizens where we have more water. But for the rest of the country, they lost the crop. Then the drought mitigation. 2024-2025, the President called upon them to plant again, and they planted. I want to thank citizens for their response. What's the message now? Your Royal Highnesses, ask our fellow citizens to preserve food for the households, not to sell everything. I would like this checklisted as an action point. Colleagues on my left, and then we can. I do believe, Chair, there are officials working for the House of Chiefs here in this meeting. The clerk is here. Where is the clerk? The things that the chiefs have said, the President is responding, and we are agreeing. We want to see a checklist of actions. After this meeting, you and local government and State House, small team will work together to start actioning the issues we've agreed. That's how this President works. And you don't need to be reminded to do those things. For my colleagues in local government, in State House, that's how we work. And now, Clark and your team. So I am requesting that we use the House of Chiefs to encourage our subjects, our citizens, to preserve food for their household consumption and not to turn to government by September. Njala kuno, boma, irikuni boma, yanganepo boma. So let us work together on conscientizing local government. This is part of your job. Agriculture, let's look in agriculture. We bring in our colleagues in agriculture to preserve food for our household consumption. Vantu vatu vayamba kuika chimanga mu bedroom. When I grew up myself, there were matala, maize banks. Let's go back to the maize banks so that the government can focus on other things. The second message I have on this, Chair and Vice, is irrigation. To take irrigation seriously. So that we don't have a planting month. Every month is a planting month, every month is a harvest month. That's my call. You remember when we were meeting, I used to say to you, we will now look at supporting you on irrigation as well. Chair and Vice. Let's record this action. Thank you for acknowledging that you received the farming inputs. We do not want to see a chief who is hungry. The chief must lead by example. There is nothing called a born farmer. No, there's no born farmer. Need makes us do the things we need to do. Every chief must serve food at the palace. That was the idea of giving the inputs to you. So let us have an action point there to see. That is, isn't it? To audit the chiefs. To see if they have food in their homes. But we have to do it. Because that's why we gave the inputs. And now, add irrigation. So that at the palace or near chief's farm, there's always vegetables. There's always tomato. Kumbuyo kwa nganda mama. Your Royal Highness. Palace yanu yabu inongako. Kunje kwa palace kuja. People visit the palace. My mother there. People visit the palace. She lives by the water, by Kafue River. So when the subjects see the green vegetables at the palace, they learn. Human beings pick things by learning. I think we should make this as a program. Because if you have a bowl at the palace, it's for water to drink, isn't it? But why can't you have 50 meters by 50 meters? Kumbuyo kwa ngani? Fresh food all the time. I think that's the test of the chief leadership. We're not saying the chief must be in the garden every day, but the chief lives with people. So, I would like us to encourage ourselves to do that and then extend that to the members who are not in the House. Chair. This must be a regular conversation in your meetings. How are we doing? I'm asking my cabinet ministers to produce food. I produce food. I'm leading by example. I'm a cattleman, but because of hunger, this year I have done close to 300 hectares of crop. First year in my life to do crop. Chief Mugovera there is sitting nicely. He has seen my crop. He has come to see my crop. There he is. It's fantastic crop. Because I'm responding to the hunger situation. So I've asked my assistants here, lady here is producing food now. Lungu there is producing food. I hope PSs we are producing food. Yes. Kuribe bauzungu hapa. We must produce food. So serious leaders must lead by example. So I'm encouraging my cabinet colleagues to produce food. You colleagues in local government, produce food. I have a formula now. P minus C is equals to S. P is production. Everybody must produce something. C is consumption, what you eat, the cost. S is a surplus. If we all produce a surplus, we sell in the market, we just don't earn the money, but there will be enough food in the whole country. So can we encourage our subjects to produce something? This is to me a very important conversation today we're having. Days are gone when subjects would trek to take food to the chief. Now, when the subjects are hungry, they walk to the palace. Am I lying? Yes. So, if we show them that produce something, visit the court. Let me use this opportunity to announce that the e-voucher has brought a lot of value to us. We discovered that over 210,000 of your subjects were cheating. Getting seed and fertilizer when they have no field, but selling. Through the e-voucher, we caught 210,000 beneficiaries. Some work for government, senior officials. Fertilizer meant for your people, your villagers. These guys were picking and selling. Chief Puta. How cruel can people be? That support is meant for the vulnerable. They were picking. So when you hear that the government has fired them, they will come to the palace and say, no, me have been fired because of tribalism. Boza, wenye. Uvera. Uvera. Uvi. Please, when your subjects come to complain that they've been fired by the government, ask them to sit down, give them a cup of water, or you want to say, why were you fired? Tell me, I want to help you. Why were you fired? Citizens have become very abusive. They do wrong things. When they're caught, they cry tribalism. That's the first thing they cry. If they don't cry tribalism, they cry religion. No, because I'm in this church, in that church. Let's not tolerate that. 210,000 for many years were drawing fertilizer when they were not entitled. Yet they know the rules. Some of them were the very agricultural officers who were supposed to disperse inputs to our citizens. We are working on that. I spent time, Chair, if we are a food secure chiefdom, then we are a food secure constituency, district and province. We will be embarking on more water harvest, more dams in your areas, especially, I'll be very specific, please, there's no discrimination. Eastern Province is going to get more dams because these are drier provinces. Eastern Province, Lusaka Province, Southern Province, Central Province, these four mainly. For the rest of the 6 provinces, what we need is just irrigation, straight to put irrigation equipment. Am I making sense, my Royal Highnesses? Yes. So again, amongst yourselves, don't start saying, no, Easterners are being favored. No. It is the geography. It is the climate change. I repeat, Eastern, Lusaka, Southern, Central, and certain parts of the Copper Belt where the drier zones are. That's what the technology is telling us. More dams. But also in your other areas, there will be water harvest so that we can use the water for either energy, of course irrigation. But in Luapula, Northern, Northwestern, Muchinga, we want to push irrigation immediately. And then I want to make another ask here. Please give us land so that we can create more farming blocks. Give us land where you have land. I think some of you have approached individually. isn't it, Levy? Give us land. Agriculture. Let me announce that the President has taken charge of the agriculture sector. The Minister will remain there, but the President now will push agriculture the way we pushed mining, the way we pushed debt restructuring, the way we are pushing energy. The President will be pushing agriculture. Food security is national security. Equally, food insecurity is national insecurity. There you are. I think this is an important subject. Your Royal Highness, Chair, you raised an issue around succession disputes. We've taken note of that. We are in agreement. You and your government are in agreement on this matter. Actually, I've been pushing for this. I threw it back to you and said, tell us how you want to resolve this. The judges don't know your family trees. No matter how intelligent the judge is, he will not understand your family trees. It's not possible. And we don't have one system here. We are not all matrilineal. We are not all patrilineal. So sometimes a judgment would have been made in one case as to who is the right chief, in a chiefdom where they are matrilineal. But you know how the law works. It now becomes law. A judgment becomes law. So they will cite that law in a patrilineal situation. I don't like that myself. As a headman, I see the mistakes being made. But you can't blame the judges. I think the problem is us. First, why do you take each other to court? And those who like going to court are the ones maybe who are not even close to the succession. So they will have a good lawyer. So I'm happy with the resolution you have made. So we will now log in that action, levy, local government, colleagues, to bring in the judiciary, since we met the judiciary, because it was our instruction for the judiciary to meet. And as I said at the beginning, Chair, take advantage of the President who is headman. Because the attitude is different. Someone who does not appreciate traditional leadership. So we are going to work on this and look at any challenges that stand in the law, in the way, such as the laws, and we will look at amending the laws together. Are we okay here? Yeah. And now we need to communicate to the rest. 286, let's do the 50. So let's log in that action again. We will work together, Chair and Vice. The President wants to meet the rest of the chiefs. So we'll structure an arrangement where when we go to Eastern, those in the House of Chiefs from Eastern will be working with you and us to meet the rest of those in each province. It's very shameful that disputes are holding back development, succession disputes. In some chiefdoms, 10 years, 20 years. It's not right. So I think the decision you made is a good decision. So, colleagues, local government, let's implement, let's work on it. It will not be easy because there are matters in court already. But nothing is impossible. This President, Your Royal Highness, does not believe in solving problems in courts of law. I have never believed in solving problems in court of law. That is the last recourse. We are actually helping some of you quietly to resolve your issues. Because remember, we said we will not interfere. But we will only help when you want us to help. Now that you've reached this point, we will work together. Chair and Vice Chair, thank you for your decisiveness. I also hope this is supported by all of your colleagues. Yes. Can I assume that? Yes. Consensus is important. So now, one of the things we'll have to do is that when we have found the instrument, the structure, we must also be able to have colleagues sitting on those panels who are objective. Because problems may arise there also. We need members who are objective. At that point, we'll see whether we can also get one or two independent panels to sit there, to deal with the objectivity issue. Where there are human beings, things happen, isn't it? Side decisions, the panel is sitting, but already a decision is made. And a quarrelsome society is very difficult to help. The issue of administrators, I think it's a fair point. We want to look at the constitutional provision. I can't say this is what the constitution says, but we'll look at the legal provisions. And in the same vein, Chair and Vice and team here, we will consult each other. I know where you're coming from. How does a subject in Chief Kabombo manage to hire a lawyer? How? A subject in Shangombo, which lawyer would they approach? It's difficult. I think that's where justice is denied now, because the practicalities are such that an ordinary citizen can never seek justice. So you are 100% right. Before, the administrator would be appointed by a magistrate's court. I hope you remember that. Now, there has to be High Court. I don't know if you're conscious of that. A couple of years ago, it was magistrate, which is close to maybe the border. Now it's High Court. It was local court, isn't it? Which is close to where the people are. Now, I think that's where we're having problems. Because this government is decentralizing. Yet, in some aspects, this is a centralization, isn't it? Yes. So, we will look at that. I'm glad that you raised it, Chair and the House here. We're very happy with that. So, colleagues, let's log in that action. 1958 boundaries, maps. This subject I've already raised it, Chair. The 1958 maps, we thought they were a solution. They are actually not a solution, because some chiefs are not on the maps. Colonialists came, disturbed our chiefdoms. Where you sit, you know that some of the chiefs were cancelled. Some of the chiefdoms were cancelled. I know from where I was born that there were chiefdoms around that were cancelled. Now, whoever did the chiefdom boundaries in 1958, the colonialists, did not pull all the data together. It's creating problems for us right now. And it's creating quarrels amongst yourselves. I'm not one for quarrels. All of you who interact with me know that. I don't support squabbling, conflict. We're losing time and money for development. So this is a subject we must sit down together carefully and look at it. Some of you, the big chiefs, are not on the maps. Senior chiefs are not on the map. Some are on the map, but they've never been recognized. I know, because these are cases that I'm looking at. So, we don't have a solution. Let's find a solution together. Is that a fair point? Yes. Let us find a solution together. I'm not keen to bring new chiefdoms and remove chiefdoms that are there. I don't think that's what the president should be doing. The president must be helping solve problems, not create new problems. So the issue of stipends comes in, it comes in there. So it's a problem. We will log it in, colleagues, and work on it. But what I want to encourage you, chiefs, is that don't pick spears against each other. Do not start cocking guns against each other. Who do you want to spear? Who do you want to shoot? Your own relatives. Most of these chiefdoms, the maps were drawn without your consultations. Those who were chiefs that time, they were drawn without your consultation. The white man didn't even understand the local language, he just drew maps. Even villages were split. Brother this side, elder brother, young brother this side. The same way our country boundaries were cut in the wrong way. In Berlin, remember, you know what is called the partition of Africa. Europeans sat in Berlin, 1884, 85. Sat and called a conference to share our countries. Even your chiefdoms, some of them were split. Paputa, that your kingdom was going across there into Congo. Mpweto. Paputula. Tell you. Some of you are in the border areas. You know that your subjects are across. Sometimes the other chief across, their subjects are in Zambia. These things we must not fight because we are not the ones who started the problems. They were started by colonialists. So I want to ask you chiefs to accommodate each other. Don't pick arrows. Fights every day. If you leaders fight, who is going to calm the people down? I am asking for calmness as we confront this difficult problem. I'm asking for calmness. I'm not a fractious person myself. I like to see unity. I like to see love. Then we can deal with the development issue. So be patient. We will engage, share views. How do we solve this problem? I'm sure you are aware that we have border problems with other countries now. Right there from Puta's area there into Kaputa, there he is, into Sama, up the hills into Mbulungu, we have problems there. And when I took office, I asked my colleague, President Tshisekedi, I said, can we suspend this process so that we cool down? Some of you are not aware that before I took office, there was a fight there. Yes. There were even deaths there and ZAF bombed areas, our own ZAF bombed areas. I know you're not aware. When I came in, one of my first trips outside the country was to go to Congo. Amongst the things I discussed with President Tshisekedi, we said, can we stop the hostilities? Let's cool down and look at this issue. We have border issues in Eastern Province, as we sit here. We have border issues with Angola. That's why you saw me trek around my neighbors. Visited Congo, visited Malawi, visited Angola. Where is my chief from Kaungamash? There he is. Chief Lokama. Once in a while, some noise arises there, Lueti River, all those issues there. My style is not to fight my neighbors. My style is to sit down and talk. If the president is able to cool down the situation with neighbors, why can't you cool down the situation with your neighboring chiefdom within the same country? Why should you ask your most mischievous boys to fight the other boys who are from across, or women? That's not what leaders do. Let's sit down and talk. You touched on the amendments to the Constitution. I think we take your advice. you will be consulted. Your key stakeholders, for example, delimitation requires the chief's involvement, because splitting constituencies sometimes goes at the center of a village. Like in Eastern, villages are big villages. I think Eastern, Luapula, where there's a lot of village regrouping. It's Eastern Luapula, I think. Electoral Commission is responsible for that exercise, but this government will work with the House of Chiefs Chair and Vice to make sure that that process is done without creating problems. And also recognizing the different cultural values matters as well, so that developments can follow certain trends. Remember, we've said it's the geography we're interested in, it's the population. These two factors will come into play, but you will be consulted. So we will log in this chair and vice chair that we don't even waste time. And we start the process right away. But because you raised it in front of the media, I would have loved to raise it off the media. I can only say to you that this government means no malice at all. Absolutely no malice. If I can give you an example, some constituencies, Mufumbwe, from one end to another is 200 kilometers. 200. But a constituency like Momba in Monze is a very small constituency. One, very small. So now if we are giving 36.1 million kwacha per constituency per year, is it fair to give 36.6 million to Mufumbwe? To Kasemba? I want to pick a constituency in Pika which is very big. Kanchivia. Is there Royal Highness from Kanchivia, near Kanchivia here? The closest to Kanchivia. The closest. Bakabing. Is that fair to give Kanchivia 36.1 million and give Chawama here, which you can walk across by foot? You can walk in 1 hour from one corner to another. Yes, there's population in Chawama. Yes, there's a high population. But Chawama already has schools, it has electricity, it has so many things. So I am only saying this because, Chair, you raised it in front of the camera. This should not be a source of fighting in our country. The law says every 10 years there must be delimitation. We have not done delimitation for over 10 years. So since we are interested as a government in decentralization, we want to put more money away from Lusaka into your areas. You who are seated here. Lusaka has been getting a lion's share of the money since independence. Remember, before we put CDF to these big numbers, where do you think the money was sitting? The schools you are seeing now. Where do you think the money was sitting and being decided? Here in Lusaka. Now, you can see money coming in your chief doors through the Constituency Development Fund, which is based on constituencies. Kasungula is the second largest district in the country and is one constituency. One. We will discuss these issues. I'm only touching on them because you touched on it. We mean no malice at all. The law obligates us to do delimitation, Electoral Commission. We're only performing what the Constitution is saying. So, please, let's advise our citizens that we should not be fighting over everything. Everything. Ninchilubuli. Sana. Nkondo. Nokachea kantu nkondo. It's like we're looking forward for fights. When are we going to develop? So these are the issues. To bring more women. Whether we like it or not, an open election will produce fewer women in parliament. It doesn't matter what we want. But if we can assure women, youth, those with disability, more representation in the councils, in parliament, we'll go a long way. The countries you see, Rwanda, which have more women, because they've legislated, it's there. So we don't see control. And I'm glad to say that here, Your Royal Highnesses, the allegations that were thrown at this president are very unfair. No, the president wants to extend his term by 7 years. You have seen the 13 items. Is there anything like that there? No, the president wants to remove 50% plus 1. Have you seen anything like that? No, the president wants to remove the running mate. Have you seen anything like that? Hakuna. So, our country has become a country of malice and slugging it out on even non-issues. If I were a Royal Highness, I would want delimitation so that I can have more money in my chiefdom through CDF. Is that not right? So the people arguing have different interests from yours. We want women to move to a health center very close to where they live. And it's through this instrument. For mothers, chieftainesses that are here, your mothers, how our sisters, nieces walk to a clinic 15 kilometers away, 20 kilometers away. Carrying, let me do a count. 1, 2, 3. Carrying at least 3 children. One is at the back. One is at the back. One, less than 2 years, she's pulling by the left hand. One is inside the tummy. 3 children, 10, 20 kilometers. These are the issues we want to solve by getting health centers close to the people, schools close to the people. I don't know if you touched it, Chair, but you didn't elaborate. You just said you want an opportunity to submit. So we'll be looking forward to your submission. But we're also happy to meet with you before you even write, so that you can actually write with the context, isn't it? With an understanding of what is meant by this. So we run you through to explain. So I don't know, when are you opening? Oh, no, that will be late. So I think, colleagues, we have to find some time to engage. We'll discuss with the leadership so that as you write, you have a full understanding of each of the items. Because, exactly. Thank you. You may use the mic.
I'm just confirming to say that was the position of the House, that the House wanted to be engaged from the beginning. So as you have alluded to, we are at your disposal. We can call for a special meeting of the House so that we look into it seriously. Thank you so much.
Would that be okay with the chiefs?
Yes.
Right. That will be okay? Very good. I think we'll log in that. Then finally on this one, I want to explain to you one item 7. Proposal 7, nominations. It was never meant, it was a mistake from our end. My team made a mistake, so I made a mistake. I always take responsibility myself. I don't like skating around. Where we're talking about nominated MPs. The nominated MPs will be capped by percentage. Currently, there are 8 nominated MPs out of the 156 elected, which means it's 5% only. So any elected MPs, only 5% will be nominated. So elected, if it's 200, there will only be 10 nominated. Just 2 more. 8 plus 2, 10. So that is the formula. So there was an omission on our side, and I take responsibility, which my colleagues in opposition or in the public took a meal out of it to make it like the president will nominate so many so that he can have 2/3 majority. No. That is not, but it's been since clarified. So I'm using the opportunity to clarify that issue. So I think that is really what I wanted to indicate around this issue. But we also don't want a constitutional review commission, because a lot of these issues are already sitting way back from the various constitutional review commissions. Muvunga, Mwanakatwe, Mungomba, so many of them. We shouldn't be doing the same things over and over. Time. 2, cost, least cost. So the consultative process takes account of what has already been done in the past. Cost saving is important. Look at by-elections. I know many of you are not aware that there were by-elections on Thursday. Because there's no violence now, there's no tear gas, there's no noise. There were by-elections in, where is my chief here from Kawambwa? There he is, Mukant. There was a by-election there in Kawambwa. There was Kalawat. There was a by-election in Nyimba. Where is my chief from Nyimba or Katete, close there? There she is. Yes, there is my chief there. There was a by-election in Nyimba. And elections was held. The winners were announced. In the past, you would have known it because there would have been tear gas and bullets there. We must appreciate the calmness that has come with the changes. And I'm not talking about the winner, but the winner was announced. It happened that the UPND won both seats. Thursday, 2 days ago. But very few people are aware of that. That's what we want the country to do. But who needs those by-elections costing money? Let's have an election season. We vote once in 5 years. After that is development. That's what we want. Save money. I think I want to raise my case here. Because, Your Royal Highness, you raised a couple of things, so I thought that I must illustrate this thing. And as you go to your palaces, because you have provincial councils, isn't it? You will be able to run some of the primaries in the provincial councils so that we provide feedback. I don't know if you touched the issue of your retainers. Did you touch the issue of your retainers? No. It will be in the next session. But we will deal with that. And I hope the next session will be shorter because I think we've covered a lot of ground. Tomorrow? Yes, we can do it. The earlier the better. Where is it coming from? Okay. I think we will discuss, Chair and Vice Chair. My team has written a note that if you are still here, like tomorrow, the Ministry of Justice can run you through the 13 items. Depending on your calendar, if you are rushing home, a different issue. If you are not, there's an option. I think you can consult your colleagues, but the option is available to have a quick session before you disband. Because if you were able to do that, it will give you more, I think, understanding so that as you write, like I said, as you write, you'll be in a position to. And I think the administrative work, Nicholas, will be done because it means they're staying an extra time. So that should not be a problem. So I will urge that you can consult your colleagues and vice, and then a quick session will be held as you go away. And so that we can move. October is too far. And the memories are fresh now. I think you can be able to handle this matter. But should you need support, Nicholas from State House, we are always available to support whatever support you need for our Royal Highnesses to engage. Okay. Yeah. I think we are done on this on my side. since the media will be exiting, just to thank you, Chair, Vice, SOFA, and your members, our Royal Highnesses, for this kind of conversation. We appreciate it. The feedback is very important. We do these things for everybody. We don't do them for ourselves. We know what to do for ourselves. But when we're in these public offices, we're here for the people. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. President, thank you so much for those remarks. At this juncture,